this is a topic that seems A, kind of one of the hot topics right now. B, it's a topic that's been going on for over a year now that we did discuss last year, but we will discuss yet again this year. And C, why not? Just why not? So let's just dive right into it. Get into this video on is Hendrick Motorsports back, or where are they right now, really? So last year we saw this same problem with Hendrick Motorsports. A lack of speed, a lack of running up front, lack of leading laps, lack of winning. And as we know in the past, they've won a lot. 4 championships with Jeff Gordon, 7 with Jimmy Johnson. So they've done a lot recently, obviously. The most recent championship coming in 2016 with Jimmy Johnson. So it hasn't been that long since they've won a championship. It's not like it's been a decade. So what's happened? Obviously, Jeff Gordon's retired. Dale Jr.'s retired. Jeff Gordon, a champion, 93 career wins, a 4-time champion. Dale Jr., over 30 wins, I believe, in the Cup Series. So he had a successful career, I'd say. But obviously, losing that is a big deal. And then they've got these 3 new young drivers now. Casey Kane was in the 5 car. He eventually left. And now the other 3 drivers, other than Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, and William Byron, all who I believe are under the age of 25. So we got some young drivers, young guys. And Chase Elliott's had high expectations due to his name, obviously. Byron's had mixed emotions, and then Bowman's had mixed emotions as well, I'd say. But let's just get into it. So last year, they were struggling the whole year. They had Johnson finish 3rd in the spring Bristol race, I believe. Elliott finished 2nd in the spring Richmond race, but other than that, the first half of the year kind of sucked for them. The second half of the year is when it got better. It took them all the way to New Hampshire, which is late. It's like the 20th race of the season or something, to get their first stage win. Not even a race win, a stage win. 20 races. Hendrick Motorsports to get a stage win. And it was by Chase Elliott. That was the first time he had passed someone for the lead, I think, in under green flag in the whole year. And then next week he won a stage at Pocono. And then next week he won a stage at Watkins Glen. And then that week he also got his first career win. So they started to get some momentum back. They got some stage wins. They started leading laps. They started winning races. They started getting back to the Hendrick Motorsports form. I mean, like, the numbers just shot up. I had a video on it. They had like 150 laps led as a team before New Hampshire. And then coming into the playoffs, they had like 500 laps led as a team. Because Elliott led over 100 at Bristol in the night race. He led over 50 at Watkins Glen. He led over 30 or so at New Hampshire, and he led over 20 or so at Pocono. So, but then again, that's just one driver. That was Chase Elliott only who did that. That wasn't Jimmy Johnson. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, Byron, and Bowman probably led some laps, but they weren't doing what Elliott was doing, as in leading a bunch of laps, winning stages, winning races. The rest of the year, Elliott ended up winning 3 races. Dover and Kansas were the other 2 wins. But after that, it's just been a struggle. They started off this year very strong, starting 1st through 4th, or qualifying 1st through 4th in the Daytona 500. The results did not show for that. I think Jimmy Johnson might have been the only one in the top 10. I do not know that for a fact, but that's beyond the point. Where are they right now? So last week at yesterday was Texas. The week before was Martinsville. Chase Elliott, they'd been struggling. They only had one. They didn't have a single top 5. I think they only had 2 top 10s by Jimmy Johnson and Chase Elliott. So it's been a struggle. Coming to Martinsville, they've been running well at the short tracks in the past. Martinsville, they get top 10. They got a top 10 in the fall race last year. Bristol, as I said, Elliott led a bunch of laps, finished 3rd. Bristol spring race, as I said, Johnson finished 3rd. Elliott finished 4th and 3rd in the 4th and 2nd in the 2 Richmond races for an average of 3rd place. So they've been running well at short tracks in the past. So going into that week, Hendrick Motorsports, they were like, okay, it's a short track, so we'll go for it. And they ended up doing really well. Elliott qualified well. I think he qualified 7th, maybe, but he ended up finishing 2nd, leading 49 laps, maybe having the best car at the end of the race, but couldn't get past Keselowski. But definitely 49 laps led. That was his first laps led all season. through 6 races. It took him 6 races to lead a lap, and he led 49 of them. Obviously a short track, but still, leading laps is leading laps. Coming into Texas, that's where they've struggled. Auto Club, Atlanta, Vegas, they really struggled. They just couldn't get up to the front. They were mediocre, but they did great. Johnson got his first pole of the year, the second pole for the team. Byron, his second front row start of the year, and then Elliott started third. So that's a very strong start to the weekend, but the question was, would they stay up front? They did. Jimmy Johnson ended up leading 60 laps. Byron led 15 laps. Elliott led 35 laps. So that's pretty successful. Not only it's not like last year. Not one driver did good. 3 drivers did pretty good. Bowman, he was all right. Sorry, Alex Bowman, but he didn't do great compared to your other 3 teammates. So what does this mean for the future? It's obviously hard to tell. We got to give it more time, but I think this is definitely a sign for the right direction. Jimmy Johnson leading 60 laps at a track he's been dominant at is a big deal. He led more laps at Texas than he did all of 2018. All of 2018. A 7-time champion. That's amazingly just mind-blowing. But, yeah. So before this race, before the Texas race, he had only led 4 laps all season, 60 in the Texas race. Elliott has led all 84 of his laps this season in the last 2 weeks. Byron led 15 laps this week. He's only got 83 on the season, and then Bowman did not lead any. So Hendrick Motorsports leading laps. They almost won a stage. Johnson finished second. Elliott finishing third in stage 1, and then stage 2, I don't remember what the results were. And then Jimmy Johnson got a top 5. William Byron top 10. Chase Elliott just outside the top 10. So they picked up some momentum. They picked up some speed. They looked much better than we expected for sure. So that's a big deal. Finishing second in the stage, finishing third in the stage, finishing in the top 5 during the race, getting a pole, leading laps. That's a big deal for Hendrick Motorsports, and we saw where it led to last year, but that was with one driver. Can they convert this into what? Can they do this for multiple drivers? Can they do it for the whole team? It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. As we saw last year, Elliott ended up winning a few more stages in a few more races. If they can convert that for the whole team, Hendrick Motorsports might just be back, as we say. But it's a little early to call, obviously. But next week is a track that they have run well at the last 2 times I went there, Bristol. As I said multiple times, Elliott led over 100 laps in the night race and finished third, and then Johnson finished third in the spring race. So obviously a big deal for them to be going to a track that they've been very successful at in recent year and continuing the momentum that they have right now. So hopefully Jimmy Johnson just won there 2 years ago. Chase Elliott, as I said, William Byron, and then Alex Bowman. If they can run well at Bristol, that's a big deal for that team. They can get some more laps led under their belt, get a couple stage wins, or get a stage win maybe, and maybe even be up front contending for a win. That'd be a big deal for them. So obviously this year they progressed a little quicker than they did last year. I know it's a little early to call. This is just for now, but if they can start to build up that momentum and build up that speed like they did last year during the summer run, and they can do that a little bit earlier, they might just be championship contenders, one of their drivers. So obviously none of this is fact. This is just opinion and obviously just theory of what could happen. But yeah, thank you for watching. That's all I got. Hendrick Motorsports. Hopefully they're back. Trying to think. I can't think of anything else. I'll post some more videos this week. I will get a race preview and a race recap this week for Bristol. Excited for that. Who doesn't love Bristol? This right here. I don't know what this is, but it'll be something good. Something else that'll be good. Subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.